Hello. All right. So before you judge me by the comment, oh no, before you judge me by the title of this video in the comments, please spare me a few minutes to explain what it actually is. Okay. So when you see or when you saw the title of the video, I don't trust men, okay? If you want to say something like, this is trauma based, this is something that you need to heal from, then I would like to tell you that yes, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. And it is exactly for this same reason. If you happen to have what I just mentioned, like it's a trauma-based mindset or mentality, it's absolutely true. And I actually just realized that in my shower. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited because you know what it is? Is that I have been having certain patterns, okay? Patterns in life, okay? When it comes to relationships, especially romantic relationships. And this kind of theme would just repeat again and again. And I have been noticing this kind of pattern for a long time. And since then, I have been working on it as in inner work, okay? Like understanding what it is. Like, why is it that, like computer programming, okay? It's like computer programming that every single time when a similar situation comes up, okay? When I do a certain execution, okay, like an execution, the action execution, a similar result or a similar side effect would show up. It's like programming, okay? And then I have been noticing this, but I don't know what it is. Okay, so for today I have been in this mode of, I know there's something, but I was just, what is it? Like, what is it? I know there's something. And it was until when I was in shower, I finally got the understanding that I was like, oh, I don't trust men. And I was like, that's the bug. That's the bug I need to fix. I have been finding you. I have been trying to locate you. I'm just like, and I got so excited. Yeah, that's it. I got so excited because I'm the type of person that just give me the damn truth. Just give me the damn truth. And I would work on it. I'm such a person. It's like I don't care. Okay, I don't care what it is. Just give me the blunt truth. I just need to know the truth, and I would face it. I would embrace it. I would love it. Okay, and I just need to understand. I just need to understand it. And so that's what it is. This is what this video is about. Because as I was having shower, I finally realized this. I've finally locate the bug. So I can now address the bug. Like I addressing it means for me is looking at it. Looking at the bug and really seeing it as it is. And through seeing this bug, I would then, layer by layer, looking at it, dissecting it, analyzing it, and then kind of like, but with self-love though, okay, with self-love and understanding, I'm just like, oh, that's why whenever this kind of context comes up or shows up in my surroundings or in my experience, when I respond in such a way, these would then come up. Like almost 99% of the time, it would show up like this. And then I was like, now that's you, bug, B-U-G, bug. And so this is the intent of the video. It's basically me just realizing the bug I have been trying to locate for quite some time already. And finally it's here. So now let's debug. Okay, so let's start. So why is it, first I spent 5 minutes just talking about it, about what the title was. Yeah, so if you're still here with me, I thank you for your time and your patience for listening to the reason of me putting out this title, okay, of the video. So yes, it is definitely a trauma-based, I would say a very trauma-based unconscious looping mindset or pattern. Okay, so that's what I am consciously addressing here with myself. This is literally a vulnerable conversation that you're witnessing, that I am having with myself. But I love sharing this kind of moments because to me, these kind of moments, I personally find it very liberating for myself, and I personally find this kind of self-talk very uplifting. And I wouldn't say like, maybe to a certain extent I do really enjoy this kind of self-healing talks with myself. And so that is why I would love to share this kind of moments with the public and with you. If you happen to be watching this video still. Okay, anyways, okay, let's start. So how did I come to that, right? How did I come to this realization within myself that all of the relationships, it's not even just romantic relationships, you know, it's actually, to a certain extent, I would even say, it's not just I don't trust men, it's I don't trust people. And I'm going to start with a very good example of why I've come to, what led me, because it's already in the past, what led me to this kind of trying to figure out, like what motivated me to try to figure out, to look within what the bug is, right? There's always a motivation, right? What motivated me? What motivated me was that I have been having certain signs that keep showing up within myself, as in to connect with other people. When it comes to connecting with other people, be it in any different ways. I will give an example. One example would be, I don't actively reply to the viewers' comments, or say the commenters' comments. Okay, I don't actively reply, right? And in one of the videos, I actually expressed why I don't actually actively reply to the commenters' comments, like below my videos. And I reply that in one of the videos. It's called I reply to your comments. I think it's part 1. Okay, it's part 1. So the reason I said in that video, they are actually valid. They are indeed valid, okay? Very much valid. And let me briefly just go for it. The three very reasons that I don't actively reply to the comments below my videos is that, first of all, I don't want to encourage any kind of pyramid structure, okay? Because I do see I'm more of a facilitator. So one of the viewer actually replied that, like, a facilitator, which is, yes, I totally agree. I'm more like a facilitator. I love being in the role of facilitator instead of being a host. So because I see everyone as equal. Okay, this is the first reason. Second reason is and so that's what the first reason. So that's because I love and I encourage the sphere structure instead of the pyramid structure. So I decide to take the role of a facilitator and not encouraging any kind of like a host liking things. Okay, this is kind of like I was like looking within to I would say rationalize it in a way. Yes. The second reason is that I personally do like to keep a certain distance, but in a way that is like I'm the kind of friend that I would observe quietly, and I would be, my way is to be a silent company. It's like to be with you, like sitting beside you, something like this, you know. Yeah, so I don't really actively to give like, you know, to click the like or whatever. You know, it's kind of like that. The third reason was because I focus more on quality over quantity. So I decided to allocate my time and energy on like, how should I say, like going within, and also to focus on the contents and the production in itself, or say the creation, and not spending as much time on actively replying comments. Okay, so these three reasons to me at this point still very valid. However, what I did not notice was that I actually don't trust people. No, for real. But here's the thing: it's not that I actually don't trust people. Like for all the returning subscribers, if you are watching this video, it's not that I don't trust you. Okay, what I'm talking about is that it's something that I did not even notice until just now in the shower, because I did not realize that, even if to a point that I actually said all the three reasons, right? They are still valid, and I totally see that. However, there's another underlying reason, is that I have had really traumatic experiences since childhood, and it's linked to chaos. Like, really, I'm not joking, because I have experienced domestic violence. So I have been bearing witness to that. And so for me, I really, even if I grew up having a shelter, having food to eat, you know, having water to drink, having education, but I never ever felt safe, like, until these few years, because I've learned to create a home for myself, as in I'm the home. You know, it's like nurturing oneself, okay? But since childhood, I never ever felt safe. Even if I would say I have a home, okay, like a house, I would say it's just a roof. It's just like having a roof over my head. Yes, I do have all the necessities, basic necessities. And however, I would say it's more like hell. It is more like hell. Because see, emotional abuse and also certain physical abuse, these are things that even if you live in a castle, even if you live in a mansion, even if you have a even if you have a bunch of money or whatever, it feels like hell. And I'm sure I'm not the only one experiencing this or telling this is because in human history, if we look back into any kind of poetry or any kind of short stories or any kind of, folk tales, they are all talking about more or less the same, similar stories or context. And even nowadays, so many people have had such experiences. Like in certain marriage, right? Or even just a very toxic household. So, I mean, as in the relationship, okay? So that's what it was. And what I'm trying to say here is that when I realized that I don't trust men, or say I don't trust people, okay? But it really comes from men. And I'm gonna say why, okay? Why is it so? Because what I mentioned was I there was an underlying reason that I did not notice. It was because I was brought up around chaos, okay? Like a lot of fighting, a lot of shouting, things like that. Like, so, and a lot of, emotional burdens and abuse from both parents. It's something that is very, is mutual between them, right? So as children, you can't do anything about it. Just be there. Like you cannot, right? You cannot really leave the house until you are adult. And so there would be a lot of chaos around me. And this has become such a survival mode in myself that I had to gradually shed it layer by layer as I grew older, right? However, these kind of chaotic scenarios that I grew up with since very, very young, it got stuffed down, you see, over time. It got stuffed down into my subconscious, then the unconscious. And I did not realize that until just now, that even if I had said, for the 3 reasons that I did not want to reply to you guys' comments, I would even say that it's valid, but at the same time, it's because to me, whenever there are certain interactions or say closeness, intimacy, that's what I'm going to talk about real soon, okay? Intimacy. Because this is what I actually looked into starting from yesterday. Yesterday, actually, I was looking into something about intimacy, okay? Closeness between relationships. That's what got me into, that's what led me, okay, into understanding the realization that I don't trust men, okay? Now, what happened is that because of the chaos that I was brought up with, I would become so alert whenever there are closeness growing between any kind of relationships. So that could be a very underlying reason that I did not want to comment or say reply to your comments, because there is closeness. Okay, there's closeness there. And there is something that is like a fear-based thing that's so deep down in my unconscious mind. The dark room. Okay, I'm taking the file out now. I'm gonna look through it. Okay, I get it this way. Like this. And I realized that, so because I felt that there might be chaos, like in the comment section, so I just prefer not to even reply. Like, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to build a closeness. I don't want the intimacy, because intimacy can be platonic, right? And I don't even want that, because I was so traumatized. Even if the trauma has been processed, okay, has been processed, but what it is that my perception on closeness, my trust in building intimacy and closeness with people is so, I'm trying to find the right word, is so what? So what? I'm trying to find the right word. It's so not easy. I think, okay. It's so not easy. It's so not easy. And however, this is so necessary for me to talk about this here, because as I'm talking now, I'm actually learning about myself. I'm not joking. I'm actually learning about myself. I actually don't know what I'm going to talk about before I started this video. And I'm actually talking here is in a way that I am understanding myself more. Because whenever I stopped filming, I stopped the video, I actually watched the video again myself before posting it. Yeah. And even if I don't immediately watch it, I would watch it afterwards. Because it is a way of recording myself, as well as sharing the entire thought process or like the self-healing process with the public. Because I see this as, it is very healing. I find it very healing for myself. So I hope that you do have your own takeaways from this as well, okay, in the most positive way. So yeah, but now, before I go into the intimacy part, because that I said that's what actually led my research on what is intimacy actually led me into realizing that I don't trust men, right? But before I go into that part, I want to talk about why I don't trust men. Like, why is it that why I don't trust men? It's because of, if you've ever heard of it, it's called people nowadays would call it the father wound and the mother wound. Okay, now the very interesting thing here is that I'm like, in hindsight, I would look back at, when I look back at all the relationships that I had, be it is friendship or any kind of platonic or romantic, they a lot of them are really hurting, or say hurtful, really hurtful, because I can think of 4 of them, and these 4 role models, they're supposed to be role models, okay? Supposed, I'm not saying supposed, okay? Because not everyone is actually a role model. What I'm saying is this archetype is very fundamental for a person's well-being, okay? What are they? Mother, father, friend, okay? And also teacher. And all 4 of these archetypes in my life, for those that I actually resonate with, putting them into this archetype, each archetype, my experiences with them, each of them, are all toxic and distorted. And it's only in hindsight I've realized that. It's like when I came out of it, and I look back and then I realized, oh wow, that was absolutely not what I needed. Like, that was absolutely not healthy. You see, so that's why I do forgive all of them, though. Like, it's forgiveness. But then when I just realized that I don't trust men, right? That realization that came to me. And I was like, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, because this is exactly what I need to know. Anyways, and then I opened YouTube, okay? And the first video that came up, which I'm gonna put it in the description box below, okay? It's for anyone who's interested to look into it. Is about forgiveness is not, like, forgiveness does not equal to trust. And it's exactly what I need at that moment, that I really need this video. I was like, yeah, that's very confirming. Because it's that I trusted all these 4 archetypes, as in the individuals that I placed into these 4 archetypes, and all of them kind of broke it. It's upon my own realization, okay? It's not that they actually broke it. Maybe they wouldn't even know when they broke it, okay? But that's not important. It's just that upon my own realization that these are absolutely not healthy, only then it's kind of like your world was shattered. That you thought these people are the role models to be a mother, to be a father, to be a friend, to be a teacher, and no. And so what I learned throughout my entire life up to this point is that I learned to mother myself. I've learned to father myself. I've learned to befriend myself. I've learned to be my own teacher, and in a very humble way though. It's not like I'm the teacher. Like, no, to me it's really learning from experiences and realize what I need to learn from within. And I subscribe to forgiveness. I subscribe to forgiveness. I do, because see, here's the thing. From that video, what I learned, which I put the link in the description box, is a very good video. Highly recommended. So is that forgiveness does not mean trust. Forgiveness is that it does not need closure. Like, I can forgive them just by myself, because I don't like bearing grudges. I really don't. I personally don't like bearing grudges, and I prefer so much. Like, I literally subscribe to forgiveness because it's so much easier for both parties to I wouldn't even say it's move on. It's like it's so much easier and lighter for both parties. So I really cherish and I value forgiveness. I prioritize forgiveness. Yeah. But trust, though. Now I'm bringing back to the trust, right? The trust thing is that trust, in order for closeness to build up, trust needs to be in place. If I don't have trust in people, or say I don't have trust in men, I don't trust them, it's so not easy for me to be intimate with them. Be it with a friend, okay? Trusting a friend. Or be it trusting another woman in a way. Even though I love them, but only now I realize that it's not easy for me to trust, because see, I've been betrayed in a way, okay? Not saying I'm blaming them, no. It's just everybody has their own lesson to go through and to learn. But it's just like, if we put it into this scenario, okay? Like some sort of like betrayal or harm done, okay? Unintentionally though, usually it's very mindless, okay? These kind of harm done to me by all these 4 individuals, the 4 major archetypes that I would seek for assistance and comfort. You would go to your mother for comfort, and your father for stability, for security, right? To your friend for support, and to your teacher for guidance. None of them did. Crazy. None of them actually were able to I would say live up to that role model standard, but I would say it's not fair to actually put them in the place, right, in the first place. But it's just like since a kid, I would, since a kid, we would have people that we look up to, and we would just, we would have the natural trust in them. First thing first would be parents. So what happened? Now I'm going to talk about the trust. What happened briefly between me and these four individuals is that the first one is my mother, right? If you want to refer to that, for my parents, they have narcissistic traits. Okay, I would say my mother would associate with the covert narcissism, and my father would be associated with overt narcissism. Okay, and with certain violence. Okay, so I have had a video talking about this, and the name of the video is called "I Decode Narcissism from First-Hand Experience." I think it's I decode narcissism from first-hand experience. So if you are interested, please go check that video out, because I had quite a thorough recount of what happened. And so that's what it is. And however, I would love to offer of you the other side of the story, which is for both my parents, they had really traumatic childhood experiences as well. Okay, so everyone has their own story. So it's not that they are bad people, it's just they also have been terrified and not yet able to heal. Okay, but I mean, everyone is progressing. So that's what I want to give another side of the story as well. That even though, yes, I have been unintentionally harmed by their mindless actions or words, but on the other side, which is they also have had really terrifying, very traumatizing experiences, okay, in their own lives. So see, this is something very generational. Now for my friend, this would be a friend that I have had since like grade 2, like very young, okay, very, very young, like 6 or 7 years old, okay? So this friend is a female friend, and only recently I've realized that this friend has been, she has been to a certain extent, a great support to me over the years, but only in recent years, like within these 2 or 3 years, I began to realize that she has been a very competitive friend, and it's kind of like, there's the type of friend that this is what I realized, is that when I'm in my low point of my life, she would be very present. But when I am, becoming happier and happier, kind of like working on myself, she's not happy for me. Like she couldn't share the joy with me. She could not resonate with my joy. She was not able to reciprocate the joy that I was trying to share with her, like something that I, so, and at that point I realized that there was a lot of jealousy in between, and I decided to cut off this friendship, because it was actually really, even though it was a long-term, like a very old friend, but it's not healthy. That hair dryer I'm gonna put up. Yeah, it's not healthy, and so I decided not to. I decided not to prolong it. Okay, so I decided to end it, and so I did, and I actually felt really relieved. But I ended it in a way that it was, I actually told her, not in an abrupt way though, like I really explained and expressed to her how I felt, but not really saying that, not accusing her though, not in any way, shape, or form. But I just told her the truth of how I felt, and that's it. Yeah. So a best friend since childhood, and I realized that this friend has been not that much of a true friend at all. Yeah. So, and then the fourth one would be the teacher, and this individual is the one that I mentioned in. I went in the video. I went through bullying. I went through bullying to become the protector. So this teacher, person, archetype, this individual, is the one that I talked about. The spiritual leader. Okay, is a spiritual leader. I looked up to him as a teacher, but it turns out that yeah, yeah, it was actually really a lot of breadcrumbing, and it was really, oh my god, yeah, it was like at the moments that I actually needed the most help, I just needed guidance, okay, because I was exploring things that was like absolutely, I don't even know how to say, okay, it's just really really weird energies, I would say, okay. So if you're interested in this, you may go to that video, which is I went through bullying, and I to become the protector. Yeah. So yeah. So see, all four archetypes, all four individuals I've had experiences with, I could not trust. Like the trust was broken. So broken that it really, like only now, or they say just now, I only came to realize that, wow, that actually makes sense. I'm just like, oh, okay, that is why I keep such a strong boundary, or say distance, between myself and the external world, aka people. Okay. And when it comes to romantic relationships, now let's get into the part that what led me into realizing this I don't trust men. Is because for the past few days or this week, I have been observing the signs in myself, or like, what do I mean by signs? Is triggers. Okay, triggers, not in a massive way though. For me, it's not massive. It's just like, kind of like a hiccup emotionally, emotional hiccup. It's like an emotional hiccup, and for me, I would then know that maybe there's something that I need to look into, because it doesn't feel, it's not something pleasant. Because when I know something is not pleasant, it basically means that there's a bug. There's a bug. So I just need to look into it. I need to locate the bug. That's what I usually do. I'll just like dive into the entire subconscious and the unconscious mind, just like, where are you, bug? I'm looking through all the files, like that's what I usually do, because it's very effective for me. And so I would dive into it. So what I dived into was, I started asking myself, why, like, what do I feel whenever this kind of emotion pops up? Like how do I see any link within myself that, why would I feel a little bit triggered emotionally, or a little bit emotional hiccup whenever kind of some kind of like, romantic topics come up, or some kind of relationship things come up. Like I would actually avoid looking into it. Okay, I would avoid looking into it. And what I also mentioned in previous videos is that one of the previous videos is that whenever I avoid something, I consciously know I'm avoiding, and I also subconsciously and consciously at the same time being aware of I'm actually avoiding something. Because whenever I avoid something, I know there is resistance. Because when I avoid something, it means I'm trying to not see something in a dark room. Okay? So there's resistance. That's why there's the hiccup, the emotional hiccup. That is the resistance. So I have been observing myself that why do I feel this? Why do I have this kind of emotional, kind of things in myself whenever I see any kind of videos or any kind of topics, any kind of images that reminds me of relationships. And it was after some time I realized that, okay, something about intimacy, like something intimate, okay. And then I was like, okay, what about the intimacy, like what about it? And then so I searched on Google. Thank you, Google. I searched on Google. I was like, what is it, what is intimacy? And what I learned is that intimacy has basically 5 types, okay? 5 major intimacy. Okay, so the first one is physical intimacy. Second one is emotional, okay? And then it's intellectual. And then it's social. And the last one is spiritual. Okay, so, and then I started looking into each of them. I'm gonna briefly give a little brief definition for each, okay? So for physical intimacy, it basically means closeness. Closeness, closeness. It doesn't have to be sexual. It can be sexual, but what it also means, physical intimacy, it also means action and reaction, which is kind of like a conversation. Like when you talk to somebody and then you guys are like conversing. This is in itself a form of physical intimacy. It's the closeness that you are conversing with another person. It's the building of a conversation, the building of closeness that is a form of physical intimacy. Okay? But that aside, cuddles, hugging, and also holding hands would also be other forms of physical intimacy. Okay, but the key word here is closeness, physical intimacy. The second one is emotional. Emotional intimacy means, to put it in the simplest terms, okay, it means displaying vulnerabilities. That you're safe, you feel safe to actually talk about your vulnerable thoughts or feelings, and you can open up to communicate your emotions with another person, okay, or people. This is emotional intimacy. The third one is intellectual. Intellectual, it basically means that you are able, a person is able to communicate with their partner or people around them, usually more intimate, like closer relationships, okay, like friends. It could be platonic, it could be romantic, it could be familial, okay, like family. But the intellectual part is more about sharing the core values, like actually talking about the core values of oneself and to the other person, okay? So, and such as also talking about the mental expansion, okay? It's about the mental. It's about mental expansion and discussion with the other person, and that you feel safe, okay? That's intellectual intimacy. The fourth one is social intimacy. So this basically means that you guys would go do certain activities together. Okay, like hiking or cooking a meal, cooking a dinner together, try something new, maybe like try to bake a cake that you both have never tried, make a dessert out of it. Make a dessert out of it. But, that's what it is. It's like to have something common that you guys would work on together. This builds social intimacy. It could be going to a movie together, okay? Like every Sunday, like something like this. Now, for the fifth one is spiritual intimacy. So this one is more focused on religions or belief system. Also, what do you call that? Spiritual matters, like how a person feels safe enough to discuss with another person, that you guys can connect. Okay, so how I see it is that if on the internet, on Google, they would usually call this intimacy is more like how, like in a romantic relationship, or like your partner embodying like, are they able to fulfill this kind of intimacies, the 5 types? Like, it's like talk about in just one person, okay? But how I also see it is that I look within. I look at these 5 forms of intimacy, which actually is very well rounded, for the well-being of a person. And I asked myself, do I have this within myself? Like, how is my relationship with myself when it comes to these 5 intimacies? And I'm being very honest with myself that yes, I am very, very intimate with myself. Like, I am. Like, I literally fulfilled myself with all of this. Like, I listen to myself. Look what I'm doing, okay? I listen to myself, and I also, I'm very vulnerable with myself. Yes, absolutely yes. Like, I'm very connected to my feelings. Like, if I feel really bad, I would say I feel bad. I would say, yeah, I feel bad. Yeah, I would. I say I feel bad. I'm really sad, and I really validate myself. I'm like, yeah, I validate you. I mean, I know, I feel this. I feel it. The third one is intellectual. Yeah, come on. Like, I eat. I would think about the internet and the human relationship with the internet when I was eating a cabbage. When I was eating cabbage, okay, you see, intellectual, mental expansion, huh? When I was eating cabbage. But anyways, that was the truth though. Now, the fourth one was social. I love hanging out with myself. I'm so good. Okay, I'm so good. Like, I'm just like, I love hanging out with myself. I love going to a museum on my own, by myself. I love going out to have dinner by myself. Yeah, I enjoy solitude, and I have various activities that I would plan out for myself to experience. And the fifth one would be spiritual. And yes, I do dive into spiritual matters, consciousness, metaphysics, on a very general basis, actually, very often. So for me, I would say, fair enough, I'm very much intimate with myself. Now, I haven't answered what I wanted to talk about, which is what led me to this, like what motivated me to this, discovering this realization, which is I don't trust men. And I said it's because of intimacy, right? Exactly. But then why would I start searching on intimacy? Now, it's because I felt something kind of like weird. Like, I was like, I have been pondering that, do I actually need a partner? Like, for real, I'm not joking. I was like, do I actually need a partner? Do I actually need a partner? I keep asking myself, And at one point, I was just like, why do I even keep asking myself this question? Like, why would I even keep asking myself this question? Like, what got me to keep asking myself this question in my head? And then I know there is a reason, because there's something that I need to look into. And exactly, this is what came out, which is I don't trust men. This is exactly the warning sign. Burr, 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 burr. And I'm just like, this is so annoying. This is so annoying. This is so annoying. But then it keeps burr, burr, burr. And I'm just like, okay, what are you? Show me the bug. Show me the bug. Show me the bug. And so the bug is I don't trust men. Okay. Now, let's keep going. So it's because I kept having this feeling that I was like, do I actually need a partner when I'm quite happily alone? Like, I'm good, like that. Even though I was hurt, no, for many times or whatever it is, and I have come to a point that I actually said this earlier today, that I was like, it's not that I don't like people. No, it's just I'm very tired of them. Like, but when I say them, okay, I don't mean you guys. It's just I'm saying in general. It's how I feel. Is that I'm very tired of people's mindless action. Okay, I'm gonna complete the sentence first. It's not that I'm tired of people, not in this sense. I actually, to be honest, I really love people. I find people very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the people, okay? But what I'm trying to say is that, I due to past experiences, like due to past, obviously, traumas, okay? Oh, by the way, okay, clip back. Due to past experiences, it was so traumatic. So that's why I grew so tired of interacting with mindless actions that could really cause me harm, even though unintentionally, by other people. And that got me so tired, like really tired of BS. No, really, it got me so tired. And so that's why I've come to such a state where I'm just like, nah, I'm just happily alone. I'm just happily single. I feel like that. And even though and that is why I would be just focusing on going within, But the universe is very interesting. Okay, the universe knows best. Sometimes I don't know. Like if it's not that question kept ringing in my head. Like, do I actually need a partner? Do I actually need a partner? I would have not come to this understanding or say realization within myself that there's trust issue in me that I did not notice at all. I did not notice. I really did not. Like, it would be something that I kind of aware of, but I did not literally see it right there like I am now. Like, with so much more clarity that, oh, it's trust issue. Like, I really did not notice that. So, yeah. So it's because of this question that kept ringing in my head that it's like, do I actually need a partner? Do I actually need a partner? And then I came to question myself. Like, really, I then question myself, do I really need a partner? And that's what got me to research on intimacy. Because I needed to find out, I'm like, am I not feeling fulfilled in a way? And that's what got me to dive into it, to look into this, like, why? Now, at this point, I would say it's really because of how unstable I felt since childhood, and what this instability caused me to behave or to have to embody such an unconscious mindset that I actually don't trust men. I don't trust people. At this point, I would say, yeah, because after the shower, I had my dinner. And when I was having dinner, I was also, also some, I was thinking it. Not really thinking, but it's like kind of like working at the back end. Okay, it's just working back end as I was eating. But I came to an understanding that it is what it is. Like, I don't trust, but how I realized is I don't actually have to actively build my trust back, but it would be a very gradual process of me like launching myself out to the world, because it's not that I am afraid. No, I'm not afraid of interacting with people. I'm not afraid of building closeness. It's just I did not see it. I did not see that there were certain trust issues there. But once I see it now, then I know how to troubleshoot it. It's literally to go the opposite way. It's like there's certain, in psychology, I think it's called the paradox effect. It's like if you have been so neglected and abused in the childhood, the way to actually counterbalance it is to have a relationship that is of closeness, is to literally counterbalance that. So I'm not saying I'm like actively looking for someone, no, but it's more like I'm actively reconnecting myself with closeness. Okay, it's like reconnecting myself with closeness. It could be with animals like cats, dogs. It could be with meeting new friends. It could be by me maybe replying to your comments. It's really relaunching myself, or say literally rebooting myself. And I would say is to actually learning, because I have not had the right models, so to speak, or say healthy models that could show me what it means to have healthy closeness and healthy intimacy, basically. Because what I had been witnessing since literally toddler, or these are all unhealthy patterns, unhealed, stemming from unhealed wounds from the adults. So I did not have a good template to learn from. And so now I have to learn it. Just how I've learned to mother myself, which is self-care and caring other people. This is actually the divine feminine energy. And to receive with gratitude, and the divine masculine energy is the father. It's the stability. It's stability, security. I have to learn to father myself, which is bringing in, how should I say, protecting myself, but not in a way that is like over defensiveness. It's more of protecting myself with discernment, with clarity, and also taking action towards whatever align with myself. Okay, it's actually taking action and getting things done, as in setting certain schedules and being certain, following certain disciplines, disciplining myself. That is the divine masculine. And then for a friend, that is like I listen to myself, I support myself, and I give myself the care and the being an active listener to myself. And for teacher is that I keep learning, self-learning, and I see everything around me, everyone around me, including you, that you're watching this video, including you, that you are my teacher, because I learn a lot from everyone around me and everything around me. And that's how I teach myself, from learning from everything around me. That's how I kind of like, is, you know what I realized the other day is that I become all of the people that I try to seek in the external. I become myself. I become all of the people that I try to seek for in the external. I have to first become all of them. Only then, possibly, maybe I don't need it anymore in that state, when I'm embodying all these qualities that I'm seeking for in other individuals. When I embody all these qualities that I was seeking for in other people, I don't need to seek for any external validation anymore. I don't need that. But it's not in the sense that I'm like, I don't need you guys, I don't need you. No, it's because I am balanced, I'm secured, I'm self-secured, I am self-assured, and I don't have any cravings, it's like that. It's very whole. So that's what it is. And yeah, it's so liberating for me that I came to such a realization that I actually don't trust men or people, okay, or even women. I would say I don't trust women in that sense, but yeah, it really got me, because you see, if I don't have a father that offers me emotional protection, actually, or even physical protection in a way, that would really distort my view on men. And as a matter of fact, for all the romantic relationships I have had, okay, I've experienced, they all involve a lot of narcissism. Oh, and this is something else that I would love to talk about, which is controlling issues. Because I would, because of childhood, how I was being brought up, and the things that happen around me, the chaos, so to speak. My mother would be the one that is submissive, okay, submissive to her husband, aka my father. Now, what it is that my father is the one that controls, the controlling issues somehow. And what I noticed in individuals, that whoever, for the masculine energy, so more like men, okay, in men, but it can also happen in women. It's just like, I'm talking about the masculine energy, okay? Whenever anyone embodies a very strong masculine energy, these people are usually very overtly controlling, okay? When it comes to masculine energy, it can happen in women also, okay? I'm pointing this out. I have to point this out. So it's not about gender. It's very non-gendered, actually, because I'm talking about energy. Because we both, all of us have the masculine energy and the feminine energy within oneself, okay? So whenever anyone has a very dominant, I was gonna say strong, a very dominant and strong masculine energy, and it's expressed in a shadow side, like very, in a very controlled way, okay? That would then manifest in controlling issues and also manipulation. What happened is, and what I noticed in these individuals, they are usually narcissistic, okay? They're usually narcissistic, usually overt narcissism. What happens is that why they became such a way is because they usually have, usually they, in their childhood, they either have a very controlling mother. Okay, like really, they either have a very controlling feminine energy, I would say. So usually would be the mother. They either usually have a very controlling mother or feminine energy, or they receive very inconsistent love from their mother. Okay, or from a feminine energy, for the caregiver, I would even say, from the caregiver. It's either these two reasons. It's either they have a very controlling feminine energy since childhood, or they have experienced inconsistent love from their caregiver or mother. Okay, and that would cause them to be in such lack, of love. They don't know what it is. They don't know what love is. They don't understand. It's because of this. Because the feminine energy is about nurturing, is about loving. But when anyone undergoes such a situation where they don't receive consistent love, and or such controlling, repetitively controlling behaviors from the caregiver, it would turn this person into a controlling person themselves. Why? Because you see, when someone so young, it's like kind of they have been so thirsty for love because of the inconsistency that is being given from the caregiver, right? Inconsistent love. It's like they are so thirsty for love. And so once they actually see someone willing to give them this kind of love, so that would be the submissive one. That would be the submissive person. These kind of people who grow up with this kind of condition, they become the controlling person. They would then try to control the one that is submissive, that is willing to be submissive, okay? Because they don't want to lose this kind of love. Because this person is willing to give, okay? Now, here's the thing is that it's sad, okay? And this is exactly what my father is like. What he experienced, okay? The entire condition there. For my mom, she is the submissive one in the relationship. That why this happens is because she experienced very unstable childhood, like very unstable as a kid, moving around, as in not with the family though. It's like from relatives to relatives. Okay, so it's very unsettling for her. You see how much insecurity she had to bear since a kid. So that's why she would feel very unstable. And when someone with such a controlling quality comes into her life, like this kind of people's life, they would kind of sense this as a sense of security in them, because it's actually controlling, but they would feel like this is a person that could make them feel safe, because this kind of energy, these kind of people would be very persistent. But this persistence actually comes from controlling issues, or say that childhood experiences, trauma. So it's actually a trauma bond, okay? And what this would usually manifest in is that this person right here, that's the controlling person, is the avoidant attachment style, okay? Now this person here, the submissive one, would usually be the anxious attachment style. And that's exactly what happened in my family dynamics. And so that explains, right? And so why am I talking about this? Is because I grew up in this kind of dynamics. I saw it, I witnessed it, and I also absorbed it. So I picked up both of their patterns, the anxious and the avoidant and the anxious. I picked up both patterns, and what it means is that I embody the father wound in myself as well as the mother wound, and vice versa, because they both have, you see, he suffered from, or he suffers, whatever, past tense, present tense, he suffers from mother wound, right? She suffers from father wound. It's already a combo right there. And this is like, for me, it's like times 2. Father wound and mother wound and father wound. Bam. So that's why I would experience all of this at once. but that's why I would have a separate video specifically talking about avoidant and anxious attachment style. But this is like kind of like, I just kind of want to bring it up here because it is very significant when it comes to trust. Because I grew up in such an environment, it's not a good template, obviously. So it's not easy for me to build trust. But I did. Okay, but I did. I trusted. But it's only later that I realized that that is not trustworthy at all. Not a good source. So that's why it is necessary for me to learn through it and kind of like learn, how should I say, like learn as I go, learn as I explore the future, or say from the present, keep going. As I keep moving forward, as I keep meeting new people, I would then gradually understand more and more, and also meet people who I would gradually launch myself to building the trust and closeness. So it's not that I don't want closeness, it's more of I'm learning about it. It's like it's new to me. It is quite new because it's kind of like shedding all the old ones away. Not because I see them, no, this is not healthy at all, and so I don't want this. And now I need to learn the new ones. I need to learn the healthy ones. So that's what it is. And that's what this video is for. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I do. I've been speaking for 1 hour and 13 minutes and 32 seconds. And so my tongue is tied. But anyways, thank you so much for being with me. And I will see if I want to reply to your comments, because I am taking time to digest as well. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you for your support and your love and your kindness. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.